welcome back to my channel. First of all, I would like to thank all of you for your overwhelming response. I'm very happy to see it, and I have gone through your feedbacks as well. I'm very happy to see that you people have pointed out some mistakes that were there in the video, and I have been working on these mistakes. For the time being, I have removed some of them. Some are still there, but I'm working on them, and in next videos you will see that the videos will be free of error. Okay, so in today's lecture we are going to prove a very fascinating property that is usually in real analysis courses. You can see that there, and this property helps us actually in understanding the number system a little bit more easily. Okay, so what this property is actually, so this property is known as Archimedean property, and it says that if you have any two real numbers, say x and y for example, and one of them is positive, then there exists a positive integer n such that nx is greater than y. Okay, so it simply tells you that if you have any two reals, one of them is positive, and then you can say that there exists a positive integer n that when multiplied by with that positive real number, its answer will be greater than the other real number that you have taken. Okay, so let's start its proof, and I start the proof with considering a set, and this set is I name it as A, and it contains elements of the form nx, where n is positive integer, x is any real number, and x is greater than 0. This is worth mentioning. Okay, let me take you back to the statement of the property. What does it say? It says that nx will be greater than y. Okay, but just like previous video, we are again going to adopt the strategy where we will go in contrary process. Okay, we will suppose on contrary, let me write it, we will suppose on contrary that nx is not greater than y, it's actually less than or equal to y. Okay, nx is less than or equal to y. So if you are saying nx is less than equal to y, it means that all elements of this set are less than or equal to this real number y. So what is this y? It's known as upper bound of the set A. Okay, so y is an upper bound of the set A. Okay, let me take you back to the supremum property that you have studied already in the real analysis course. What does it say? It says that every subset of real numbers has a supremum in set of real number. So here we have a set which is actually a subset of real number, so its supremum will also be there. And let's suppose that the supremum of A over set A is small a. Small a is the supremum of the set A. Okay, so if you are saying that this small a is supremum of this set, so can I say that a minus x will not be supremum of A? Of course I can. How? Because when we say that this A is supremum, its other name is least upper bound, which means that there is no other upper bound of this set which is less than this A. So if you take any number out of this A, if you subtract any number out of this A, your number will no longer be a upper bound because A was the least upper bound. Okay, so if you are saying that A minus x is not an upper bound, okay, then what will happen? It means that A minus x will be less than or equal to mx. And why am I saying this? Because we have said that this A was least upper bound of this set A, and then we have subtracted some real number x from this A, which makes it no longer an upper bound of the set A. Okay, so if it is not an upper bound of A, that means there is at least one element of this set which is greater than A minus x. That is why we are saying that this is no longer upper bound of A. Okay, and then we apply some simple algebraic manipulation steps, and we can write it like a is less than equal to mx plus x. Okay, and then we can write it as a is less than equal to 1 plus m times x. Of course it is allowed, it's simple algebraic manipulation steps, nothing else. Okay, so now what we have proved here, if you focus on this line, you can easily say that we have found an element of this set, and that element is 1 plus m times x. Why am I saying this? Because you have already told us that this mx is from this set. Why is it from this set? Because m was positive integer, x was any real number which was positive. Okay, so now let's focus on this entry, whether this is from this set A or not. Okay, let me make you people focus on this. Okay, so m is a positive integer, 1 is also a positive integer, and when two positive integers are added, you will get again a positive integer. Okay, so this number is actually a positive integer, and it is being multiplied with a real number x, which is also positive. So finally we are at the stage when we can say that this number is actually from the set A. So what is the anomaly here? What is the problem here in this line? The problem here is that you people have stated this A as the least upper bound, okay, as the supremum of the set A, which means that this A is greater than every element of the set A. But here you can see that this A is looking like less than or equal to some element of this set. Is it possible? My question to you is it possible? Of course it is not. Why? Because A is the supremum. So this statement here is actually a contradiction. This is a contradiction. And this contradiction finally helps us to understand that the supposition that we have made here, I am talking about this supposition is actually wrong, and finally we can conclude that nx is greater than y as required. Okay, so this completes the proof.